Good afternoon and welcome to the Hyder Center for the quarterfinals of the 2020 Metro Holiday Tournament. And today we write another chapter in one of the great high school rivalries in the state of Nebraska. The third seed Omaha Creighton Prep hosting the sixth seed Omaha Westside. And it should be a great one today, no doubt about it. So we welcome you inside the broadcast booth. I'm Tyler Reedy, alongside Brendan Preisman once again. And Brendan, we saw this game get rescheduled twice. Originally supposed to be last night, then 1:30 yesterday afternoon, but now here we are. 7 inches of snow has fallen, but these people, they don't care when this game's going to be played. All they care about is if this game's going to be played, because this is one of the great rivalries you see.
And this Junior Jays team, of course, looking for revenge. Last year, first round of the playoffs, a lot of people, including you and me, were thinking that maybe Prep could make some noise, go all the way to semis, maybe even the finals if everything breaks right. Go out in the first round of Westside. A lot of the guys on this Prep team, Luke Jungers, A.J. Rollins, Majay Wiley, Justin City, Alex Bullock, Brendan Buckley, Connor Buckley, basically the entire top 8, except for Casey O'Malley, was on that team, and they're probably looking to ensure that they're the ones coming out on top this year.
Yeah, a lot of experience on the court today, and you look at the tournament bracket, we are into the quarterfinal, 8 teams remaining, and last week, all of the favorites in the first round games advanced. So we got the 1 through 8 seeds still to play. You see our little sliver of the bracket in the bottom left, Creighton Prep and Westside, 3 versus 6. And then on the other side, starting in about half an hour, 2nd ranked Bellevue West and 7th ranked Millard West at 2 p.m., leading us to the semifinals tomorrow afternoon at the Hyder Center. So let's take a look at how these two teams got here. Westside beat Omaha Bryan convincingly, 85-44. Meanwhile, Creighton Prep 86-55 over Omaha North, and they really played similar games. You see the defense, both teams holding their opponent to 36% shooting from the field, and then they were both lighting it up from downtown. Westside making 14 threes at a clip of 45%, and then Prep 14 threes as well at 58%. So both these teams very impressive a week ago.
Yeah, Westside shooting just incredible. Shot 56% from the field, 45% from 3, and 83% from the line, which is something that's very rare to see a team crack 80 from the free throw line. But they played well. Prep had 4 different players in double figures. So both teams put on shooting clinics last week before the moratorium, and now we'll see if there's any rust coming off of Christmas break.
Yeah, so let's take a look at the 6th seed Omaha Westside Warriors, and they've got plenty of talent, no doubt about it. And the really interesting thing about this starting lineup, 4 juniors and a sophomore, no seniors needed in this starting lineup, but they're still experienced. Guys like Chandler Meeks, Reggie Thomas, Payson Gillespie, Tate Oddbody saw a lot of experience last year. And Oddbody, a transfer from Elkhorn South, just a sophomore, he came into Prep last year, put up 25 points as a freshman. He was fantastic a year ago and leading the team in scoring. So who you keeping an eye on today for this Westside team?
Well, Oddbody's also leading the team in rebounds, which is pretty big. But one guy that I'd say to keep an eye on would be the other junior, Reggie Thomas, averaging 13 points, also 3 assists and 5 rebounds, and his assist-to-turnover ratio is 1.62. So he's got a lot of really good passing skills to go along with that great shooting as well, and he should be the number 2 option for this Warriors offense.
As talented as this Westside team is, though, they have struggled with top 10 teams this year. They've played 2 of them so far. Number 1 Millard North back on December 5th, 3.5 weeks ago. And the Warriors got off to a nice start in that game. They were up 30-23 late in the first half, but then Millard North went on a 50-12 run for the rest of the game, leading them to a 31-point victory over Westside. And then on December 19th, 10th-ranked Lincoln Southeast came into Westside and really took over in the second half against the Warriors, winning 69-45. And the common theme in those 2 games, Westside got out-rebounded badly. Normally you see the Warriors putting up 30, 40 rebounds a game. They're great on the boards typically, but in those 2 losses, 18 rebounds, 19 rebounds, and it's not going to get any easier going up against a well-sized Creighton Prep team today.
Yeah, another issue was the star power. As you mentioned, the rebounding, which Prep is averaging 30 of. But against Millard North, Hunter Salas, St. Thomas, and Jason Green combined for 46 points. Those 3 by themselves outscored the Warriors. And when you look at a team like Prep, they've got a lot of star power too. Luke Jungers, Justin City, Brendan Buckley. That's a pretty darn good big 3. Not quite on the level of Salas, Thomas, and Green necessarily, but those are guys that could give this Westside defense a lot of trouble.
Yeah, and you take a look at the starting 5 for Creighton Prep. I've said it once, I'll say it again. All 5 of these guys can get it done on any given night. Luke Jungers has pulled away a little bit as the leading scorer. Also a great free throw shooter, but all of these guys can step up at any given point. We saw Justin City and Majay Wiley do it last week. Who needs to play a big role to beat Westside today?
Well, I'd say the major guy that needs to play a bigger role is A.J. Rollins. He's averaging about 7.7 rebounds with a block so far throughout the year. And what he's going to really need to do is help clog up the middle, because Westside, in most of their games, has struggled to shoot from beyond the arc, shooting only 32% from three-point range. So if Rollins can clog up the middle, he'll force Westside to take those shots, which are far more likely to go out than go in.
Well, there's no doubt today Prep is playing with a chip on their shoulder after the way the last 2.5 school years have gone in the two major sports, football and basketball. Westside with blowout victory after blowout victory, especially on the football field. Basketball court has been a little bit closer, but the thing that stings, Westside, as you said, knocking Creighton Prep out of the playoffs a year ago with a 74-70 victory. So the intensity is going to be there, no doubt about it. So you look at these two teams matched up against each other, and you see the numbers, 5-2 record for Westside, 7-0 for Prep. And the thing with Westside, Creighton Prep, most of their opponents we've seen this year averaging low 50s for points per game, but Westside, they can light it up, 65.1 points per game. That's more than Prep, and they also average more rebounds, but Prep, a much better three-point shooting team. They both like the three ball, but Prep does it much more efficiently. So going into the quarterfinal round here, Creighton Prep Westside, great rivalry game. What do these two teams need to do, Brendan, to secure a spot in the Final Four?
Well, for Westside, one of the big things is just go with what's working. You mentioned their key starters, and those guys are the ones that are going to have to play big minutes for Westside and do what they need to do to get their points, because so far throughout the season we haven't seen the other players get a lot of those points.
All right, we will pause and take a break for the national anthem, and we'll be back right after that for starters and the tip-off. Welcome back. Good afternoon once again. Thank you for joining us from the Hyder Center for this rivalry matchup in the quarterfinal round between Omaha Westside and Creighton Prep. Your starters for this afternoon, first for the Warriors, number 5, Chandler Meeks. He's a junior at 6'1", leads the team in assists per game and steals per game. Number 11, Reggie Thomas, a junior, 13.4 points per game, had a career-high 6 assists last week. And then number 13, Tate Oddbody, impressive sophomore, 26 points, a career high last week versus Omaha Bryan. Payson Gillespie, normally number 20, wearing number 21 today, a junior, tied for the team lead with 5.6 rebounds per game, also 48% from downtown, leading the team. And then number 23, Dom Rezak, the standout running back for Westside, taking the floor, the junior, number 23. And then for Creighton Prep, you got number 3, Justin City, the senior, career high 18 points last week versus Omaha North. Number 4, Brendan Buckley, a senior who leads the team in steals per game and is third in Class A for three-point percentage. Number 11, A.J. Rollins, the senior, committed to Nebraska for football, leads the team with 7 rebounds per game. Number 12, J. Wiley, a senior, 10 points against Omaha North, 9 in the first quarter. Impressive start last week. And then number 21, Luke Jungers, the standout junior, who has Division I offers from Tennessee Tech and Coastal Carolina. Should be a great matchup today, Brendan. Can't wait.
Yeah, and before the break, we were going over keys to the game for Westside. We didn't quite get to Prep, but for Prep, it's really just going to be playing their game. They like to shoot the three ball. They have 5 different games where they've made 8+ 3-pointers. They're really good with the fast break. They're averaging almost as many points as Westside, despite holding their opponent to about 10 points less. So the key for Prep is going to be to push the pace on offense, hit the open threes, and then force Westside to take contested shots on defense. If they do that, they should coast to a victory here.
Prep wins the tip, opening up the next chapter, one of the great rivalries in high school for the state of Nebraska. Here's Luke Jungers over to MyJ Wiley. Both these teams, neither of them have been outscored in the first quarter this year. Should be a fast start for each of these two. Here's Justin City over to Brendan Buckley. Back to MyJ Wiley, guarded by Chandler Meeks, over to Jungers, working on Reggie Thomas. Nice spin move. Jungers works in, and he was fouled by Reggie Thomas trying to get a shot off.
And that could be a key in the game, in this game, is the foul disparity. We saw last week Omaha North, huge foul disparity. Prep shot a lot more free throws than Omaha North, especially in that first half. Westside averaging 17.7 fouls per game compared to Prep's 5.4. So Prep a far more disciplined defensive team than Westside. But if Prep keeps getting to the line like this, even if they miss a couple of shots, eventually that's going to start to pile up on the scoreboard.
That missed free throw was Jungers' first miss since December 5th, and he misses both. A 92% free throw shooter. A surprise there, going 0 for 2 from the line. And Westside will take over on their first possession with Tate Oddbody. Now Reggie Thomas working in on Brendan Buckley. Trying to get in behind the back. Thomas, tough drive over to Dominic Rizak. Hard drive, doesn't get the roll, and Luke Jungers pulls in the rebound. 50 seconds into this one, Prep and Westside. Luke Jungers, Brendan Buckley, pass was behind him, and now Dominic Rizak comes the other way for Westside. The speedster can't get the roll, but then it is pulled down on the rebound. Payson Gillespie gets it to go, and it is a 2-0 Westside lead.
And we've seen a lot of fast breaks for both these teams, and that's where both of them have so much success, getting the defense on their heels. One of the huge differences in this game could be which team is able to use their transition opportunities well and which ends up throwing them away.
Justin City too strong on a deep three, and how about the effort there? Gillespie and Oddbody taking the rebound away from Jungers, and Westside working with a 2-0 lead comes back the other way. Here's Oddbody in on Jungers, the two big men. Oddbody with some nice moves, can't get the shot to go, and Rollins pulls in the rebound.
And that interior defense already starting to make its presence felt for Prep. 3 missed layups already by the Warriors, but Prep's got to get those rebounds to prevent those points from getting on the scoreboard anyway.
Brendan Buckley, guarded nicely by Rizak, gets it over to City, back to Buckley, trying to get it inside Rollins. Nice catch, but he's double teamed, and we're going to have a jump ball possession to Westside. So 6:06 remaining in the first quarter, and a nice start, especially defensively for the Warriors.
Yeah, both of these teams filled with good defenders. Thomas, Oddbody, and Meeks all average at least 1 steal a game. Meeks averaging almost 2 a game. So they're all very good at defense. And Prep now taking Jungers out, going a little bit smaller against this Westside lineup. We'll see if that works. But if Prep's willingly taking themselves away from one of their strengths, which is offensive rebounding, you got to figure that they don't think they can score unless they've got one of their quick lineups in.
Chandler Meeks was fouled going to the basket by Justin City. He'll go to the line for 2. Meeks, a 75% free throw shooter this year. First one, no good. So rough start on free throws for both of these teams. We'll see if Meeks can hit the second one. 5:53 remaining in the opening quarter. Westside leads 2-0 on the basket by Payson Gillespie. Meeks gets the second, 3-0 Westside. And here comes Justin City the other way for Prep, trying to get on the board. 2 minutes and 15 seconds now without a basket for Creighton Prep.
And Westside's defense looking a lot like Prep's defense right now when it's in form. A lot of pushing, a lot of shoving. Ooh. And there's a lot of pressure on the guards, a few feet behind the three-point line. And that's been working for Westside. The Prep offense appears a little stagnant, which is something we really haven't seen all year. They're putting up almost 70 points a game. But it looks like Westside, at least right now, may have figured out how to solve this Prep offense.
You saw Rollins step out of bounds. Westside coming the other way with it. Here's Rizak over to Reggie Thomas at the top with Brendan Buckley. Over to Oddbody. He's trying a three-pointer, and Tate Oddbody gets it to go for 3. Oddbody had a great night. 4 3-pointers made last week, and he's got an early one here to make it 6-0. Now Brendan Buckley for Prep. Drives in on Rezak. Kick out to Wiley. He'll try a three, and it is good. A quick answer from MyJ Wiley, and the Westside lead cut in half. It is 6-3.
And that's the Prep offense that we've come to know and love over this season so far. A lot of drive and kick action, and that works for Prep because they've got a lot of guys, as you mentioned in the pregame, a lot of guys who can make a lot of different shots.
Payson Gillespie, money from downtown as he's been all year. He's up to 5 points, and the lead is up to 6 for the Warriors.
And that's going to be real trouble for Prep if Westside's hitting those kinds of shots. Already down 6, and Gillespie was at least 2 feet behind the three-point line there. There's almost nothing you can do as a defender other than tip the cap. But if Westside can consistently make those shots, and it's going to be a long night on defense for Prep, especially with the offense sputtering right now.
Chandler Meeks couldn't get the roll. Here's Connor Buckley, seeing his first action of the game. Over to MyJ Wiley against Chandler Meeks. Justin City now in the corner with Oddbody. Cross court to Connor Buckley. High pass, but he's able to reel it in. Now Justin City.
And some great defense so far by Gillespie on A.J. Rollins in the post. Rollins hasn't found an opening yet.
City's got an opening for 3, and he misses it. 0 for 2, and Rollins able to get to the rebound. A hard drive, and an offensive foul is called on A.J. Rollins as Oddbody, or make that Gillespie. Gillespie was right in front of him. He went down, and the foul against Prep.
And some more great defense by Gillespie. And Prep, I don't think, has been this down for this long, all season long. They're 7-0, and you can maybe see some of the frustration starting to boil over for Rollins, especially since he's getting pushed around. Got forced to step out of bounds earlier. He might be thinking, well, they're doing it to me. Why can't I do it to them?
Oddbody.
It is a foul.
Lost the handle, but it was touched by a Creighton Prep defender. Luke Junger is going to check back into the game. A.J. Rollins will come out. 3:38 to go in the first quarter. Impressive start for Westside, leading 9-3 after 2 3-pointers in the opening quarter. Here's Tate Oddbody. Over to Reggie Thomas, drives in, kicks it out. Chandler Meeks from the corner for 3. It's good. What a start. 4 points for Chandler Meeks and a 9-point advantage for Westside.
And the perimeter defense by Prep is really struggling. It's not that they're getting bad contests. Westside is just hitting the shots, which, again, something we haven't really seen. Westside's just getting the shots to fall. Prep's not. But if that continues, Prep's going to be in some deep trouble.
Oddbody with a basket and a timeout for Creighton Prep, and you hear the energy from the Warriors. Unbelievable start for Westside. They lead 14-3 with 3:10 to go. Tate Oddbody with 5 points, Payson Gillespie with 5 points, Chandler Meeks with 4 as well. And meanwhile for Prep, MyJ Wiley hit a 3-pointer. That's it for the Junior Jays.
This might be the Junior Jays' largest deficit of the year, and ironically, this is looking a little bit like the football game that these two teams played earlier this year. Looked pretty even at the start, and then all of a sudden, an offensive explosion coming from the Warriors. We know that the football game ended 42-0. Obviously, Prep got on the board already, but not very much right now, and they might have to start retooling the offense because Westside has just done a great job at forcing the contested threes or forcing the contested layups. Prep might have to start working into the mid-range instead of settling for threes or layups because they can't buy a bucket right now.
Warriors lead 14-3. Incredible start. A lot of energy coming from that Westside bench and the fan section behind them. Here's Justin City. 3 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Prep trying to get back in the game here. MyJ Wiley over to Brendan Buckley. Swings it to City.
That defense by Westside continuing to force Prep out of shooting range, 2 or 3 feet beyond the three-point arc.
Looks like we got a foul against Caleb Benning, who just checked into the game, the freshman for Westside, and that'll bring in C.J. Mitchell for Westside and Casey O'Malley for Creighton Prep. O'Malley's been fantastic in the last 2 games for the Junior Jays. 32 points in the last 2 for the junior, 6 3-pointers made as well. He'll inbound. Luke Jungers traveled, and Westside will take over with 2:52 to go.
And Westside clearly winning the mental battle right now. Prep's offense just looks discombobulated. Maybe O'Malley is going to have to be the one to get the offense going up again with a spark. But I think that if Prep's going to get an offensive turnaround, it's going to come on defense. A lot of their bread and butter has come off of fast breaks, off of steals or defensive rebounds. They're going to have to start pushing the pace and running fast breaks if they want to get some buckets.
Here's Chandler Meeks up at the top. Lost the handle for a moment, able to recollect, get it to Payson Gillespie. Now Caleb Benning works in on Connor Buckley, swings it to the corner. Oddbody another 3, and it's good. What a start for this guy. He's got 8 points, trying to catch up to the 25 he put up on Creighton Prep last year, and it's a 17-3 lead for the Warriors. Now Brendan Buckley drives in. He can't get the shot to go. Rebound Westside. Man, this is unbelievable.
The offensive And it looks like Prep has almost ceased the team offense that worked so well in their first 7 games. Most of it's turning into drives and post-ups, and they still can't get anything to fall.
Oddbody looking for an option, gets it to Payson Gillespie. Back to Oddbody. Over to Caleb Benning. Chandler Meeks now against O'Malley. Makes a nice move, but lost the handle. Here comes Justin City the other way. 2v2 for Creighton Prep. City with a weird dribble. Gillespie might have gotten a piece of it. Now Brendan Buckley had it taken away, but illegally. Gillespie will be called for the foul.
And that's an opportunity that Prep might like to have back. A little bit of a dribbling struggle there for Justin City. Prevents what might have been a good layup opportunity. But Prep definitely looks like they're mentally struggling right now. And this might be a time where, as a coach, you just say to your team, all right, guys, they punched us in the mouth. We got to go out there and respond. But we can't do that by going one-on-one.
Oh, boy, Brendan Buckley had to throw it up behind his back. Thankfully, the height of A.J. Rollins able to save that one.
Saw him do that quite a bit in the football season, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Here's Brendan Buckley against Caleb Benning. Nice pass over to Justin City. Inside, Jungers. What an effort by Reggie Thomas to break it up, but possession will stay with Creighton Prep as it goes out of bounds.
And the effort in the post by Westside has just been incredible. Reggie Thomas is 6'1". Luke Jungers is 6'8". There's no universe in which Thomas should regularly win that battle, but guys like Jungers and A.J. Rollins have just been shut down by the Westside post defenders all game long, and that's taken away a huge part of Prep's offense.
Martell Evans in the game for Prep, and he gets the basket to go. His first points of the afternoon, and it is now 17-5. As for the Warriors on the other side, Logan Wilson, the 6'6 junior, is checked in. Here is C.J. Mitchell to Wilson at the top, guarded by Rollins. 6'6 versus 6'6. Keep an eye on that. And there's a nice block by Casey O'Malley, but it does come back to Westside. Wide open three, Reggie Thomas too strong, and A.J. Rollins gets the rebound. Justin City nearly lost it.
A needed stop by Prep, especially after not getting the rebound at first. Now they have to capitalize.
It looks like we got a foul here as O'Malley tried to drive in. Let's see who they got this one on. Looks like it's Caleb Benning, number 2. And with 37.6 to go, Prep will inbound, trailing by 12.
And eventually posting up Jungers on guys who are a lot shorter than he is. Benning's only 5'11". Eventually, Westside's going to have to resort to some sort of fouling to make sure that he doesn't get an open layup every time. And that foul trouble already starting to kick up for Westside. That's 4 fouls in the first quarter. Now Prep's got to start capitalizing off of it.
Martell Evans with some fancy footwork, able to get it in and draw the foul against Chandler Meeks. Evans will go to the line to shoot 2. Martell Evans shooting 29%, bit of a limited sample size from the free throw line, but we'll see what he can do here. Luke Jungers went 0 for 2 earlier. Evans gets the bounce, make it 17-6. Martell Evans coming into the game trying to provide a spark. He's got 3 points, tied for the team lead with MyJ Wiley as it's a 17-6 ball game. Evans will try the second. 31.9 to go in the first. It is up and no good.
And we've seen a bit of what Evans can do in the past couple of games, especially when they've been blowouts. He's really good at driving to the hoop and getting layups to fall. And that effort might be just what Prep needs now. A guy from the second unit coming in with fresh legs that can consistently drive to the hoop and get, at the very least, fouls.
Westside holding on to it. Looks like they're going to try for a last shot opportunity.
They got 10 seconds.
Reggie Thomas might drive in, try to do it now. Instead kicks it out. Logan Wilson, Chandler Meeks, 5 seconds to go.
Looked like an elbow there.
Reggie Thomas for 3, late in the quarter. It's good. That'll take us to the end. And the Westside Warriors off to a roaring start here at Creighton Prep as the underdogs. They lead 20-6. How about that?
Well, they're hitting their threes like they did against Bryant. Shot 45% from beyond the arc there. And right now they've got 4 different players who have hit a three-pointer. Chandler Meeks, Reggie Thomas, Tate Oddbody, and Payson Gillespie have all hit a 3. Oddbody's got 2. And this Westside offense just seems to be hitting their shots. And if you're the Prep defense, there's really not much more you could ask for because they haven't been playing badly. The Westside shots have just been falling and Preps haven't. But really the big part of this game that surprised me is Westside's defense. I came in here expecting probably a high-scoring game, something like 75-70, because Westside already gives up 56 points a game, but they came ready to play. They've been making Jungers and Rollins uncomfortable. They've been forcing the shooters outside of realistic shooting range, 2 or 3 feet beyond the three-point line, And from there, Prep's offense has just been unable to do anything because that's where Prep thrives, just beyond the arc and in the lane, and Westside's not letting them do either of those right now.
Yeah, Prep's big men in the offensive side of the court have essentially been non-existent so far. It's been unbelievable what Westside's done. Their leading scorers for the Warriors, Tate Oddbody's got 8, Payson Gillespie's got 5, Chandler Meeks with 4, Reggie Thomas with 3, and then on the other side for the Junior Jays, not much to speak of. Myjay Wiley's got 3, as well as Martell Evans. See what changes in the second quarter.
And Westside doing a good job at fronting Luke Jungers. Even with shorter defenders, it's very difficult to get the ball to him if you've got a guy in front of him who can jump pretty high.
Nice pass, Casey O'Malley. A.J. Rollins is on the board finally. He's got his first 2 points, and it's 20-8. As you see the big men of Prep finally making an impact on the offensive side.
And Rollins might be the guy who Prep needs to run their offense through, because if he and Jungers are like a combo, he's more the guy inside the lane, and Jungers is more the outside shooter.
Payson Gillespie from the corner. He's got it. And Westside expands their lead to 15. 8 points for Gillespie to match the team lead.
He had a hand right in his face, and he still had that. Incredible shooting exhibition so far from Westside.
Casey O'Malley with a tough shot. Can't get it to go. Rebound pulled in by Oddbody. And he'll take it the other way a minute into the second quarter. Westside leads by 15. Reggie Thomas well short on the awkward shot. And Martell Evans will take it the other way.
And there's been a lot of contact on these drives, but the refs are certainly letting the players play.
O'Malley, 3 from the corner off the mark. Rebound pulled in by Rezak. Gets it to C.J. Mitchell. Here comes Westside with 6:42 to go. Oh, wide open is Oddbody in the paint. And another timeout for Creighton Prep. And the start of the second quarter, just like the start of the first quarter, Westside coming out hot again.
I mean, this is just incredible. This Prep team appears completely different from the team we've seen all year. Like, even against Lincoln Southwest, which was a really close game, they were still shooting well. They were making their free throws. They were hitting their threes. But now they just look dead in the water, to be honest. I mean, terrible fast break defense there. I know I'm probably not supposed to say terrible, but there was a guy wide open on the block, and Westside is just out-hustling Prep right now. They want it more on defense, they want it more on offense, and they want it more in transition. And that's why the lead is 17 for them. Prep's going to need something very, very soon, or this game's going to get really out of hand. Westside hasn't been involved in a game closer than 13 points. And right now it's looking like something much the same could happen unless Prep's offense really starts stepping it up.
Yeah, Prep has not been in this kind of situation yet this year where they're trailing big early on. We saw that a lot last year at home, but nothing like that this year. We'll see what they can do. Working down by 17. Martell Evans doing some nice work to get in and get fouled again. Westside with 5 fouls, getting pretty close to bonus territory.
There's some chatter going on.
Oh, what's going on down there? Let's wait for some clarification here.
It looks like it wasn't a shooting foul. That's why. There were people lining up to shoot, but no free throw was coming.
Yeah, that's what I thought initially. Yes, here's Luke Jungers. Back to Brendan Buckley. 6:20 to go until halftime. Buckley scoreless so far. Gets it out to City. Thought about a 3, didn't take it. Takes some contact, and he will be fouled, and this will be a shooting foul for Justin City.
And maybe the thing to do for Prep is to drive in and just get the fouls. Westside in the bonus now. That's 7 fouls. Because Westside, despite what some people may think, they're not really that deep of a team. They've only got 4 guys averaging over 3.7 points a game. So if you can get guys like Gillespie or Oddbody, if you can get them in foul trouble, then Westside, much like Grand Island in that first game, they're going to have to start looking for guys who haven't had to produce all year, and those guys might not be up to the challenge.
Justin City, a 67% free throw shooter coming into the game. Already 1 for 1, and he can't make it 2 for 2, so we haven't seen either of these teams go 2 for 2 from the line so far. Been a bit of a struggle for these two teams that usually shoot the free throw ball pretty well. How about Tate Oddbody doing some more work, up to 12 points now in the first half.
He's just been incredible, and they might need to find a new guy like Brendan Buckley to put on him because it does not look like the Prep big men are up to the task.
Luke Jungers scoreless so far. A.J. Rollins has 2. Can't get the high arcing floater to go, but he's able to reel it back in, get his own rebound, and make it a 16-point game.
4 points in the quarter for Rollins, and Prep's really going to have to start crashing the offensive glass because that's where a lot of their points might come if Westside starts to get a little tired in the second half.
Oddbody couldn't get the 3 ball to go. Here comes Justin City. Back to Brendan Buckley. Working in against Gillespie. Nice
Wow.
shot by Buckley with Gillespie right in his face. He's got his first 2 points, and it's a 27-13 game. 5:18 to go until halftime.
And Buckley definitely one of the emotional leaders of this Prep team. And if he's willing to drive in, then there's going to be a lot more of the Prep team that's willing to drive in and do the dirty work to dig themselves back out of this hole.
Well, we saw Buckley getting the steal and then getting fouled right there. That Creighton Prep bench starting to play with some, they're starting to cheer with some energy down there. We saw Westside with a lot of energy from their bench early on, but maybe momentum starting to shift just a bit. Buckley will go to the line for a 1-and-1 with Prep in the bonus.
And you notice Chandler Meeks, that was a foul called on him leaving the floor. That could be huge. He's the leading assist man for Westside at 3.1. Also their leader in steals with 1.7 to go along with about 10 points and 5 rebounds. He's one of the crucial pieces for this Westside team. And if he has to keep sitting on the bench, then they might be in some deep trouble.
Buckley went 1 for 2, but his second free throw was reeled in as an offensive rebound, but Wiley couldn't get the 3, and here comes Reggie Thomas the other way. Westside working with a 13-point lead. Gillespie from way downtown. It's no good. But it looks like a foul was called against the Warriors.
No, it was a travel.
Or is it a time? And now we got a timeout.
And Reggie Thomas has just done an incredible job so far on Luke Jungers. He's only 6'1", but the junior has just made Jungers miserable anytime he's tried to post up. He's been fronting him. He's been pushing him from behind. He's just done whatever he had to do to make sure that Jungers can't get comfortable in the post. It kind of reminds me of when I was playing against my dad in a one-on-one game. Whenever he posts up, it's just like, I got to foul. I got to do something.
Nothing else you can do.
It's just like, grab his jersey, make him upset that he's in the post. And Thomas has just done an incredible job of that. He's really one of the reasons that this Westside defense has been working so well, because even though he's 6'1", he's prevented Prep from really working in the post, meaning that guys like Tate Oddbody don't have to stay in the post and can start playing on the perimeter, because that'll help with fast breaks getting started quicker.
Westside leads 27-14. 5 minutes remaining in the first half. Here's Justin City. Tim I.J. Wiley drives in. Nice pass to City. Quick hands to Brendan Buckley, and the three-pointer off the mark. Fight for the rebound. Comes to A.J. Rollins, and can't get the roll.
There was a foul there, I think.
Buckley swats it away from Oddbody. That shot won't go, and Westside eventually comes away with it.
And that's a huge victory for Westside. Despite the second, third, and fourth effort by Prep, no points remain on the scoreboard, or no points come onto the scoreboard for Creighton Prep. And Westside able to get a lucky break there, but they got to be careful to stop those situations from happening, because if those keep happening, eventually those shots are going to fall.
Open look from Brendan Buckley, an uncharacteristic air ball there from beyond the arc. Might have misjudged. He was a little farther away from the three-point line than I think he thought, and no good, out of bounds. Westside ball.
Yeah, that's a guy shooting 52% from beyond the arc this year. I don't think we've seen that all year long.
No, no way.
And that shows you how much Westside is winning the mental battle right now. They've come in here, they've been confident, they've been bombs away from three-point range, even deep three-point range, and they've been tenacious on defense. Nothing doing for Prep on either end of the floor right now.
Nice move by Oddbody to step to the side, but can't get the shot to go. Here comes Prep the other way. Casey O'Malley has checked in for the Junior Jays. It's in his hands now against Caleb Benning. Now A.J. Rollins. 3:48 to go. Lobs it up for Jungers, and he can't reel it in. But now C.J. Mitchell double-teamed, and a nice play by O'Malley to intercept the pass and keep it in. Jungers works in and gets the shot to go. Finally, Jungers on the board with his first 2 points.
And give credit to Casey O'Malley for that bucket, because he realized the double in the corner was coming, and he went to intercept the ball going to the closest guy. Great steal by O'Malley leads to a bucket for Jungers, something Prep desperately needs. And we might see Prep start to press pretty soon, because we've seen that work quite well.
Caleb Benning can't get it to go from downtown, but Oddbody continues to hustle. Gets in a hard tie-up with A.J. Rollins. Possession will go to Westside. Those are two big boys duking it out for that rebound.
Yeah, this game's starting to get just slightly chippy. We saw some of that at Omaha North when the refs were letting them play just a bit. But right now, Prep appears to have maybe slightly turned the tables. It was, I think, 27-11 a bit earlier.
Out of bounds. Creighton Prep bench pleading for possession, but it will stay with Westside. Seen a lot of emotion from that Junior Jays bench, really trying to will their guys back into this game.
This is definitely an emotional game. We've seen a lot of emotion from Westside, but for them, most of it's been positive with that double-digit lead.
Open look, another air ball. C.J. Mitchell couldn't get it to go on his first look of the game, and Creighton Prep will take over. 3:06 to go. We've seen some odd shooting, both from the free throw line and from downtown, between these two usually very talented, accurate teams.
And that's honestly kind of what you would expect to see if a game like this between two high-scoring teams turns into a defensive bloodbath.
Jungers got here before everybody else onto the court, was working on his jump shot, and he reaps the benefits there. And don't look now, it's a 9-point game here, 27-18. Jungers up to 4 points, another steal. Justin City quickly the other way. He stops up, looks for options.
Oh, what a pass.
Inside, Jungers is fouled, and he'll go to the line for two. And here comes Prep. 2:35 to go, and they've got a chance to make it a 7-point game.
And you can see some of the emotions start to come for Westside a little bit. That was Gillespie called for the foul. He just looked absolutely shocked about that call. But now here's where Prep has to start hitting the free throws.
First one from Jungers, up and good. He started 0 for 2, uncharacteristic considering he was a 92% free throw shooter coming in.
They've left 5 points on the board just from the line. If they're able to hit those shots, we might be talking about a completely different game right now, where Jungers could make this a 2-point game instead of a 7-point game.
Second one up and good. 7-point ball game. Creighton Prep with an excellent second quarter to get themselves back into things here.
6 in the quarter for Jungers too.
Yeah, 2.5 to play in the second quarter. Here's Tate Oddbody.
And Westside continuing to try and spread that Prep defense out. Normally have at least 4 guys outside the 3-point line, really trying to force Prep to do the extra work on defense to get stops. But Prep seems to have been up to the challenge in the second quarter.
Reggie Thomas drives in after a nice fake, couldn't get it to go. Rebound for A.J. Rollins, and Creighton Prep, with 2 minutes to go, has a chance to really shorten the gap here. 27-20 Westside as it stands now. Here comes Justin City with some great work and a great shot. And it's a 5-point ball game. City now with 3 points.
Here comes Westside.
Quickly the other way. Charlie Davis gets it to go from the corner, and from downtown, it's an 8-point lead for Westside.
And here comes Prep.
Yeah, here's that fast-paced action.
Yeah, this is what we wanted to see.
My goodness. Justin City against C.J. Mitchell. Energy on both sides, no doubt about it, as there's a foul called. Jungers will try a 3 just for fun and make it, but it's not going to matter. Foul called against Charlie Davis. And because Prep is in the bonus, now the double bonus, 10 fouls against Westside. Casey O'Malley will go to the line to shoot 2.
And we mentioned almost 18 fouls per game for Westside, already well on pace for that total. And Prep, not that great of a free throw shooting team, 67%. But if you give them, let's say, 30 free throws, and that's a ridiculous number, they're probably not going to hit that. But if you give them 30 free throws, that's, even if they shoot at their pace, that's 20 points. And you can't afford to give a team like Prep 20 free points in any sort of game.
Casey O'Malley, a 47% free throw shooter coming in, hits both of them. His first 2 points of the afternoon, and it's a 30-24 Westside lead. 90 seconds to play in the first half. Warriors with 10 fouls, Creighton Prep with only 2. So even though the big men aren't doing a whole lot of scoring for the Junior Jays, that's the impact they're having with the fouls, as that shot is missed. The 3-pointer from Logan Wilson. Justin City pulls in the rebound, and here comes O'Malley.
Jungers, I think. Good board from him.
Jungers the other way. It's good. 4-point ball game once again. Jungers up to 8 points now, and he's really starting to get things cooking in the second quarter.
We've got a minute to go, and the feel of this game has changed. We were playing it on Westside's terms for about the first 12 minutes. Now this is a game being played on Prep's terms, and that's sometimes all a team needs to be able to get the win.
Logan Wilson to Reggie Thomas. 45 seconds left until halftime. Tate Oddbody against O'Malley. Gets it to Charlie Davis, working on Wiley. Double teamed inside. Oddbody versus Rollins. Look at that matchup, and Rollins wins the battle, forcing the miss, and he pulls in the rebound.
Great defensive possession by Prep. Great switching, great help, and a great contest and a great rebound by A.J. Rollins to finish it off. Rollins, pretty key for anchoring that Prep defense and sometimes the offense so far throughout this second quarter.
Prep can make it a one-possession game with a basket of any kind here. Justin City against Oddbody, drives in, shot no good. Rollins gets it back and puts it home.
He's got 6 in the quarter. He's just feasting inside. Oh, there's a steal.
And now a chance. O'Malley with an off-balance shot. No good. And we will go to halftime. What a first half it was. Westside pulling off pulling out to a crazy lead early on, but Prep storming back much like they did a lot last year to make it a 2-point game. How about it?
I mean, this has just turned into an incredible basketball game between two incredible teams. Prep seemed to just flip a switch all of a sudden, and they started driving and kicking. They started making the extra pass. They started bumping Westside on defense, and Westside started to look uncomfortable. That's when Prep made the run.
Very, very, very exciting first half. Just a preview of what you're going to see if you're going to stay with us here on Creighton Prep Sports Network for the next 3 days with the Metro Holiday semifinals and finals. Westside leading Creighton Prep 30-28 at halftime. Should be a very, very impressive second half between these two teams. Stay with us. We're excited to bring it to you. Hello and welcome back to the Hyder Center for the quarterfinals of the Metro Holiday Tournament. Third-ranked Creighton Prep taking on sixth-ranked Omaha Westside in a fantastic rivalry. And if you're just joining us, you missed a lot. It was a great first half, but still plenty to come between these two. Westside took a 20-6 lead right off the bat at the end of the first quarter. Then the Junior Jays stormed back with a 22-10 second quarter to make it a 2-point game at halftime. Tyler Reedy and Brendan Preisman with you. And Brendan, this has been fun, hasn't it?
Yep. It's my co-commentator's birthday, and it looks like his present was an exhibition in how to come back from a big deficit by Creighton Prep. 8 points by Luke Jungers in the second quarter, 6 points by A.J. Rollins, and Prep completely flipped a switch with their defense. Their defense has been key all year long. They've turned defense into offense quite well, averaging almost 10 turnovers forced per game, and that's not even mentioning the 10 offensive rebounds they're averaging a game. And in the first quarter, Prep didn't get a lot of those, and if they did, they normally didn't get anything out of it. But in the second quarter, they got a lot out of offensive rebounds and turnovers, and Westside went from riding high to diving low really quickly, and it's now a brand new ball game at the start of the third quarter. After a 20-6 first quarter lead by Westside, Prep went on a 22-10 run in the second quarter. 14 of those points from the bigs, Rollins and Jungers, that made it a 2-point game now. In this second half, I think it's going to provide even more drama than the first.
Yep, fireworks are on the way. Prep and Westside. Justin City's going to get it started and give Prep the lead at 31-30, just 10 seconds into the half. How about that? 6 points for City. And now here comes Westside the other way with Chandler Meeks. Driving in on City, spinorama move, shot doesn't go. Oddbody fouled.
Oh, that's not a foul.
And he's going to go to the line for two. Oddbody did the heavy lifting for Westside in the first half with 12 points, and he'll go to the line for a chance to make it 14.
And both teams really starting to push the pace now. They're going so fast we can barely mark the score because next thing you know, the other team's getting an open shot. But Oddbody might be key for the Warriors this half. They trust him to really run things throughout their offense. He's leading them in points, tied for the lead in assists, has not missed a free throw to date. Still hasn't after that one. And he's also shooting 62% from the field coming into tonight, or coming into this afternoon. So he's going to have to keep the scoring load up if Westside's going to have to hang with Prep, because Prep appears to have found a fifth gear heading into this third quarter.
Westside back on top at 32-31. Here's A.J. Rollins finding some space and going right over Reggie Thomas for the layup.
Well, you can't just give him the hoop. Some good defense by Oddbody until he let Rollins just drive straight past him and get to the hole. You can't just do that as a defender because A.J. Rollins only averaging 7 points a game might be overlooked in the Prep offense, but he's not going to miss a layup.
Yeah, and A.J. Rollins has awoken since the end of that first quarter. 8 points, tied for the team lead with Luke Jungers. Here's Oddbody, fake the three, now a jump shot as he got around Jungers and gets the shot to go. Oddbody up to 16 points now on the afternoon. He continues to impress everybody, just a sophomore in his first season with Westside. Here's J. Wiley over to A.J. Rollins. Back and forth we go to start the second half.
Prep using a lot of off-ball cuts, trying to get guys open.
Brandon Buckley for three, no good, just came up short. And now Payson Gillespie back the other way. Quickly to Oddbody. Here he comes again, peels off.
Good transition defense there by Prep.
Back to Reggie Thomas, backs away from City. Finds some space, gets it to Chandler Meeks. Now on the near side, Dominic Rezak back to Meeks. Double teamed, over to Oddbody. Able to cut his way in. Beautiful touch there with the right hand, and Westside's up by 3.
6 already in the quarter for Oddbody. This is incredible.
Yeah, 18 points. Oddbody put up 25 against Prep last year. His career high, 26. He said it last week against Bryan.
He's on a tear.
Brendan Buckley, though, he's up to 5 points now as he gets that one to go.
And Buckley been kind of having some uncharacteristic struggles this game. He airballed a 3 earlier. He missed one last possession. But he is definitely one of the main hearts of this team. And he's able to get most of his points off of drives to the hoop tonight. And if that's what's working, then that's what he'll do. He just does whatever it takes to win.
Chandler Meeks missed a three-pointer. Here's Justin City. Over to A.J. Rollins. Lobbing it up. Jungers reels it in and puts it down to make it a 37-36 lead for Prep.
And a great play design there for Prep. Getting Jungers to roll in front of a smaller defender. And A.J. Rollins, not the quarterback, but he can still make those lob passes just as well as he can catch them.
Yeah, 6'6" to 6'8" for the basket. Chandler Meeks couldn't get it to go.
Great defense by
Chase
City.
for the rebound, and it's poked out to Reggie Thomas. He's got space. Gets it into Payson Gillespie, who is fouled. Looked like A.J. Rollins, and it is A.J. Rollins, so Gillespie will go the line to shoot 2 and try to give Westside the lead back.
And the foul trouble kind of switched at halftime. Westside had 10 fouls in the first half to Prep's 2, but Prep's already matched their first half total, and Westside's played a clean defensive game so far. No fouls for them.
Gillespie ties the game at 37, 4:57 to play in the third quarter. This to give Westside the lead and give him 10 points. Good.
And
38-37 Westside.
Gillespie, one of the best players on that Westside team, 12 points a game, tied for the lead in rebounds, leads the team in blocks and three-point percentage. So he's one of those guys, kind of like Brendan Buckley, where you could plug him in anywhere and he'll do what you need. But he's been key for that Westside offense in the first quarter and now in this third quarter.
Nice cross-court pass. Jungers didn't step into the 3. There's that jump shot again off the mark. And Payson Gillespie's got the rebound for Westside. Nice pass ahead. Chandler Meeks got City turned around.
That's a late call.
Yeah, there's a foul. I think Jungers goaltended as well, but the foul came first. And it is against Creighton Prep.
They're going to count the bucket? Are you serious?
Oh, yeah, Jungers goaltended.
Oh.
Yeah, I said it. I wasn't sure if the foul was on the floor. It's kind of a weird sequence, but Chandler Meeks gets the and one. First and one of the game. Kind of a surprise there for either team. And he will go to the line one more, and it is a three-point play for Chandler Meeks.
He's got 7.
7 points, and the Warrior lead back up to 4.
And Westside going back to what worked, pushing Prep, getting physical, and forcing the issue.
Beautiful quick ball movement from Prep, but Brendan Buckley, another miss from downtown. He's 0 for 3.
And I can't believe I'm saying this, but Prep might have to get a different guy in to fill that Brendan Buckley slot, because Buckley, uncharacteristically, the three-point shots just aren't falling for him, and that's kind of crucial to Prep's offense when it's clicking. If he's not hitting those, then they're not getting any points.
Yeah, he might have to bring in Casey O'Malley or Martell Evans. We'll see what Coach Lukey elects to do. Brendan Buckley's got it again here. 3:50 to go. 4-point lead for Westside.
And
Buckley to City.
Westside actually kind of playing off Buckley now. And you can already see what missed shots do to the team's offense.
Yeah, they're giving him much more space, and again he misses. Buckley no good from downtown. 3.5 to go in the third quarter. Here comes Westside. Chandler Meeks. Nice pass inside, and Thomas getting knocked down by Rollins. The Westside fans are furious. Here comes Brendan Buckley the other way. He's fouled, and the shot goes. Creighton Prep with the and one from Brendan Buckley, and they've got a chance to make it a 1-point game.
And that's just the great player that Brendan Buckley is. Even when the three-pointers aren't falling, he'll do whatever it takes. Stats on the year, 9 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, shooting 51% from the field, 52% from 3, 86% from the line. He does literally anything and everything that this team requires. If they ask him to shut down the other team's best player, he can do it. If they ask him to make some threes, except for tonight, he can do it.
Yep. So you had the no call on one end with Reggie Thomas running into A.J. Rollins going up for the layup, and then the and one and the missed free throw on the other end for Brendan Buckley. So a 2-point game. Westside leads. Caleb Benning against Luke Jungers. Payson Gillespie, now Chandler Meeks. Reggie Thomas.
Good
pull up
screen.
from the top. It's no good, and Brendan Buckley pulls in the rebound. So we've seen Thomas taking a lot of the shots here after Oddbody got off to his hot start to begin the second half. We'll see who the guy will be for Westside. We'll see who the guy will be for Prep. Justin City over to MyJ Wiley. Cross court, and it was intercepted, but Reggie Thomas could not chase it down. He'll go for a lap around the Hyder Center and eventually come back into play. Creighton Prep will keep possession with 2:46 to go in the third.
And Brendan Buckley, MyJ Wiley are taking seats now. Both Evans and O'Malley coming in for the Junior Jays. On a continued great defensive effort by Reggie Thomas. He made his name on the offensive end so far this year. 13 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Only 0.7 of a steal per game, but so far this game, he's just been guarding anyone from Justin City to Luke Jungers, and it's been working.
And speaking of City, he just traveled there trying to look for an option there. Stuck in the paint with Westside defenders around him, and Warriors will take over, still leading by 2.
And the game's starting to slow down again. Basketball, a game of runs, and when neither team is on one, it can get a little bit stagnant. And it looks like that's what's starting to happen for both teams, struggling to shoot now.
Yeah, Oddbody hasn't seen the ball a whole lot since he got those quick 6 points to start the half. He's got it now, though, guarded by Connor Buckley. Inside, beautiful feed to Chandler Meeks, and Junger's got his hand in the basket to try and knock it out, but that was good no matter what. And Meeks is up to 9 points. Now Casey O'Malley, 2 minutes to go in the third. O'Malley just checked in. 2 points in the first half, drives in on Caleb Benning. Oh, the ball got stuck there on the rim.
And he's fouled.
Yeah, there's a foul call. Looks like Gillespie, and going to need probably Luke Jungers to get that down, or Connor Buckley will take care of it. O'Malley will go to the line. So it is on Payson Gillespie, 1:55 to go in the third. O'Malley shooting 2.
The free throws for Prep still key. Westside's missed only 1.
Oh, what in the world? That was an interesting roll. About as in and out as it gets there for Casey O'Malley on the first one.
That's now the 7th missed free throw for the Junior Jays. And again, I mentioned that in the first half that this could be a completely different ball game. If even half of those shots go in, let's say 3 to be conservative, that free throw right there would have tied the game.
Second shot goes from O'Malley. It's a 3-point game. Westside 43, Creighton Prep 40. Reggie Thomas to Tate Oddbody for the Warriors. Oddbody drives in on Connor Buckley, and he's able to fend off contact. They're firing it off the backboard, but eventually Martell Evans takes it back the other way, and there's a bit of a tie-up there. Westside comes away with it. Chandler Meeks. So good defense from Meeks and Benning. Here come the Warriors the other way. Thomas from the corner, no good for the three-pointer. And Brendan Buckley pulls it down, 1:23 to go in the third.
And you can see guys on both teams really starting to give it their all. Hard drives, second effort off of rebounding. We saw a couple tips off the backboard a couple possessions ago by Westside. Both teams giving their all to try and get a bucket because those have been hard to come by this third quarter.
Brendan Buckley. Oh, Chandler Meeks was all over him, and he's fouled going for the shot. Buckley will go to the line to shoot 2. So Chandler Meeks, who's been playing excellent defense all game, got a little too tight on Brendan Buckley there.
And Buckley, since those threes aren't falling, he's been driving to the hoop and getting contact. This will now be his 3rd trip to the free throw line if you include the trip he made after that and one earlier.
First free throw up and good. Buckley with a quiet 8 points on the afternoon, just 2 behind the team leader, Luke Jungers. 1:06 to go in the third. Justin City, A.J. Rollins will check back in for Creighton Prep. Second free throw from Buckley is good, and it is a 1-point game.
Both teams have been in situations like this before, where the game's been a little too close for a little bit longer than either of them had really hoped, or in some cases their opponents. And one of the teams has went on a run that has erased any doubts about who's going to win the game. And the question is now which team is going to, because we've seen both do that.
Look at that defense. They were all over Oddbody, Connor Buckley, and Casey O'Malley, but eventually out of bounds off Prep. Westside keeps it with 51 seconds to play in the third.
And the double teams in the corner have been very effective for Prep. Westside still hasn't been able to find a bucket out of those. And you got to wonder if maybe Coach Ludke is thinking that he might start pressing soon, because the press has worked against other opponents. There's no reason to think it wouldn't work against Westside.
Charlie Davis with some fancy hands there to make it a 3-point Westside lead. Just over 30 seconds to go. Davis up to 5 points now off the bench. Here's Brendan Buckley, 27 to play.
He's one of the guys that Westside needs to step up against a team like Prep, and so far he has. He's done what they've asked of him, and he's been very successful at it.
Justin City, just over 15 to play. Brendan Buckley working near the baseline, got to be careful. He's able to get away.
And it looks like Prep's going to hold for the last shot. We're at 8 seconds now.
Casey O'Malley drives in, back out. Brendan Buckley, nice shot fake. Wide open 3 is good. Finally, Brendan Buckley connects from downtown, and we're tied at 45 going to the fourth quarter.
That's 9 in the quarter for Brendan Buckley. Brings him up to 11 for the game, and we're tied at 45. Is there anywhere else you'd rather be?
Oh, man, how can you not like this?
Whew.
If you don't like this, you don't like high school basketball, man. Come on.
No.
45-45, Prep and Westside, one of the best rivalries in the state of Nebraska, and they're doing it again at a very high level on the basketball court. So Creighton Prep and Westside, 45-45. Who's got to step up for these two teams? All of them have made an impact. There's no doubt about it.
For the most part, things have basically held the form for both of these teams. Jungers and Buckley, they've been the scoring leaders for the Jays in all but one game, and that was that blowout last week against Omaha North where City had 18. So there's no issue that they're going to step up. I think the guy who's going to make the difference is A.J. Rollins. 8 points already. That's above his season average. But if he can keep playing good defense, get offensive rebounds, maybe another layup or two along the way, then that could be key for Prep. And then for Westside, I think it's Charlie Davis, the junior guard. We haven't seen much out of him all season. But with Reggie Thomas kind of struggling from the field, averaging 13 points so far this year, but only 3 today, Davis has stepped up with 5 points. And he might be a guy, if he's open, that Westside could turn to. And if he delivers, that's going to be huge for them.
45-45, 8 minutes to tell us who's going to advance to the Final Four to take on the winner of Bellevue West and Millard West. Westside starts with it. Chandler Meeks against Justin City. Nice move.
Ooh.
Meeks eventually travels with Rollins coming over to help. City with great defense to stay with him, and Prep will take over 10 seconds in.
And we've seen quite a few turnovers from both teams. And the question is, who's going to blink first? Because none of these turnovers so far have been backbreakers, but you can tell that one might be coming pretty soon.
Casey O'Malley. Connor Buckley in the corner. Back up to O'Malley. Justin City. O'Malley again steps into a three from downtown. Woo! O'Malley's got it. And it's a 3-point lead for Prep.
That's his first point that's not from the line this game. And it couldn't have come at a better time for Prep. That gives him a 48-45 lead.
Caleb Benning got around O'Malley. Tough work on the baseline, and
great
the rebound
defense by Brendan Buckley.
By Justin City.
He came in, he went straight up, and he forced the miss. Incredible job he's done all season on defense. He's been the Alex Bullock of the basketball team.
City thought about a three. Now Brendan Buckley.
A lot of off-ball movement coming for this Prep offense.
Boy, watch out. City got kind of clipped there by Gillespie, and Gillespie seems worse for the wear there, holding his right knee.
He's got 10. And Westside might need to rely on his offensive production to finish out this game. But if he's limping a bit, then that could be trouble for the offense, because that takes away one of their main guys who's averaging 12 points. And as I mentioned earlier, he's also tied for the team lead or leading in rebounding and blocks. So that's a huge defensive loss as well.
So Gillespie takes a seat for now. Looks like C.J. Mitchell has checked in his place for Westside. Junior Jays working with a 3-point lead. Rollins couldn't get it to City. Instead, checks down to Connor Buckley.
Even more off-ball movement for Prep. Westside doing a good job at covering it, though.
And more players go to the ground as Buckley ran into a Warrior, and eventually Rollins to the ground, and timeout for Creighton Prep, 6:32 to go. So we're seeing the energy and the effort and the physicality of this rivalry. It only intensifies as we get later and later into this close game. And we'll see which team has the stamina and the endurance. Westside has played not really any close games, nor has Creighton Prep. Prep's played a couple semi-close games, 7 points.
They won one on a buzzer-beating tip.
Yeah, the Millard West game, that's right. So low scoring, you almost forget about it, but yeah. So Prep's played one close game, and then the 74-67 win over Lincoln Southwest. Meanwhile, Westside hasn't really been in this situation, but they're handling it pretty well. It's been a lot of blowout wins or blowout losses, but
and the key just might be free throws for these teams, because in that 74-67 game at Lincoln Southwest that you're mentioning, Prep took 24 free throws. They made 16, and I know I've talked a little bit about how Prep's kind of struggled from the charity stripe this year, but that game is a pretty darn good game for an entire team to go 16 or 24 from the line, and they needed almost every single one of those free throws to win that game, and there's already been quite a bit. Hopefully Prep can get in the fall at a better rate than they were in the first half, but if so, that could lead to a widening of this lead.
Yeah, and remember, can Westside play clean basketball or not? They got in serious foul trouble with 10+ in the first half, and they, as you mentioned, foul a lot this year. Can they keep Prep out of the bonus and or double bonus? We shall see. They've got 4 right now as Brendan Buckley gets it over. O'Malley for another 3. No good. Came up short, but the rebound right to Connor Buckley. Back to O'Malley. It's good, and the Junior Jays lead is up to 5, the largest of the afternoon.
And O'Malley has shown just a great basketball IQ so far this game. We saw it when he got the steal that led to the Jungers layup earlier in the first half. We've seen it in his cuts away from the ball to get open threes. And we saw it there with a great cut to the hoop after the offensive rebound by Connor Buckley. And a great offensive rebound by Connor Buckley to even get that going. offensive rebounding key for Prep. They're in the double digits this year for those, remember.
Look at that spin move. Odd body gets it to
Wow.
go, and he's back on the score sheet, making it a 3-point game as there's a timeout. Odd body is up to 20 points, 6 points shy of tying the career high he set last Tuesday against Omaha Bryan. So Odd body, obviously the key player on this Westside team, leading scorer coming in, 20 points today. What have you seen from him that's made him so special?
Well, the thing is that he can basically score from anywhere on the court. He had a couple of threes in the first quarter. In the second quarter was more controlled drives to the hoop. Third quarter was a mix of drives and mid-ranges, and there we saw him on the drive again. So he's one of those guys that's kind of an enigma for Prep because he's technically a big, so that means you think you might want to put Rollins or Jungers on him. But he's also shown that he can outrun Rollins or Jungers, so they're sticking guys like the Buckleys on him. But if you're asking a guy like Brendan Buckley to guard Oddbody on the defensive end and then come back and convert threes or and ones on the offensive end, that's going to wear down on a guy pretty quick.
Yeah.
So you got to assume that Prep is looking for any way to stop Oddbody because he's got at least 4 in every quarter so far. This one obviously not because we're only about 2 minutes in. But if he's able to really get going like he was in the first quarter, that could spell doom for Prep's hopes at advancing.
5:42 to go in the fourth quarter. Teams retaking the floor. Oddbody, Thomas, Meeks, the 3 opening starters still out there for Westside. And then for Prep City, Brendan Buckley and A.J. Rollins. So 3 of the guys who started the game out there for both teams.
And Prep appears to like to go small at certain points throughout games, but they've been going small quite a bit. And as you can see here, only A.J. Rollins, the only real big, do have both Buckleys in though. So maybe they're hoping that the Buckleys can compensate for not having a guy like Jungers in with their length.
Well, Jungers is getting ready to come back in, and A.J. Rollins able to make a play and get to the basket, up to 10 points now. And with 5:15 to go in the fourth, Junior Jays lead by 5, and now we got a foul as Caleb Benning tried to drive in.
Leon O'Malley.
Yep, Casey O'Malley, and that'll give Jungers an opportunity to check in. So Prep going with the 2 big man lineup, which was so good last year down the stretch in games as Connor Buckley checks out.
And both of them have done pretty well, both in double-digit scoring now with 10 points. And they're doing all this considering that they haven't really had a backup. Tony Tubrick, the normal guy who'd be coming in for them, he's out this afternoon. He's not playing at all. He's not even on the bench, so Rollins especially has been doing incredibly well considering the extra minutes he's having to play.
Charlie Davis has checked in for C.J. Mitchell for the Warriors as Meeks misses a 3-pointer and Rollins pulls it down. Now Justin City the other way, just over 5 to play in the fourth quarter. Creighton Prep trying to grow this lead just enough to hold on for the victory over this feisty Westside team. City steps into a 3, no good, another air ball. Rollins with a great effort.
Another great rebound by A.J. Rollins.
Yeah, Rollins.
He's just doing it all for Prep, offense or defense. And he's also really wearing out his defenders. Oddbody's back on him, but Oddbody can't do that this entire quarter and then have to go down and score.
Jungers a nice shot fake. There's the jump shot. And there's the 2 points for Jungers.
What a shot by Jungers. Hand right in his face and it goes down.
And a 3 the other way. Charlie Davis with an air ball from the corner, and Rollins secures the rebound. 7-point lead for Creighton Prep. Trying to pull away here in the fourth quarter. 4:15 to go. Justin City guarded by Chandler Meeks gets a nice screen from Rollins. Jungers, 3-pointer, no good, comes up short. And that will put it in the hands of Caleb Benning for Westside. 4:05 to go. Benning drives in on O'Malley, doesn't get it to go. Now a kick out. Meeks for 3. It is good. And Westside trims the lead back down to 4.
And a great second effort by Westside. After the missed layup, they're able to get the rebound out to Meeks, who shoots an open 3 and hits it. So both teams obviously losing a little bit of their legs. Westside's only gone 8 deep, so is Prep. So all 8 guys have played the entire game for both teams, and you got to wonder who's going to crack first due to the fatigue, because somebody's going to do it.
Jungers, another 3, no good, comes up short again. 3:26 to go in the fourth quarter. Westside trying to make it a 1-score game. Reggie Thomas was fouled trying to go up for the shot. I think they're going to get it on Casey O'Malley.
And he is definitely getting frustrated.
Oh, no,
there.
Justin City.
Yeah, I'll call it on City.
Yeah, O'Malley came out looking frustrated, but the call is on City. 5 fouls on Creighton Prep. They're 2 away from being in the penalty, so got to be careful there. Thomas will go to the line for 2.
And you got to wonder if Prep's got maybe talk to Luke Jungers a little bit, especially the coaches, and say, you know what, you've shot a couple of threes that haven't gone in. Go back to what's working for you. Go back to the drives. Go back to the mid-range shots because you're hitting those. Just keep hitting those and we'll be fine. We don't need a three.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Reggie Thomas, kind of a quiet afternoon, only 4 points. He's usually the second leading scorer for Westside, but well behind the 20 that Tate Oddbody has put up today. But second free throw, no good, so it'll remain a 3-point game. And
you've seen players on both sides really kind of concentrate their efforts. Some players have been giving it their all on offense, like Oddbody maybe. Well, some players like Reggie Thomas have been going all out on the defensive end, and then sometimes they just don't have enough energy left to expend all that effort on offense.
Yeah, it is a tough game. Really a clash of the Titans between these two. It's going to have all kinds of intensity no matter how good the two teams are. Brennan Buckley, A.J. Rollins against Oddbody. Looking for the basket, and A.J. Rollins makes it look easy once again. He's up to 12 points, and it's a 5-point Junior J lead.
And Rollins has really been the linchpin for this prep team. As he goes, so go the Junior Jays, and he's been playing out of his mind tonight. But will it be enough for prep to hold on to this 5-point lead?
2:26 to go. Chandler Meeks couldn't get past City, kicks it out. Caleb Benning drives in on Jungers. And he travels. He was caught in between A.J. Rollins and Luke Jungers, and that's a position no man wants to be in.
Nope.
And it is a travel. Prep will take over, up by 5. 2:21 to go in the fourth quarter.
And Westside appears to be going with mostly their starters now. Only Chandler Meeks is in, so I think that's everybody in the starting lineup for Westside out there right now. Prep doing basically the same thing, except with Casey O'Malley in for Majay Wiley. Both teams going with the guys they trust down the stretch. There's only 2:05 to go. This is not a time to play a guy you think might do well.
Oh, A.J. Rollins is taking over, and it's a 7-point lead for Prep. Rollins with 14.
And this is a situation where Westside needs to answer with a bucket and quickly. Only 1:50 to go. They can't afford to keep settling for misses.
Oddbody forced into a tough miss. Here comes Prep the other way, 1:45 to go. O'Malley. Oh, and there's an offensive foul. He went right into Gillespie. And Westside will take over with 1:41 to go. And Coach Luke, he isn't happy with Casey O'Malley after that one.
He's telling him, look at the clock.
Yeah.
There's a minute 40 to go.
Yeah,
you don't. We're up 7, not down 7. And now Prep going small again. It's City, Buckley, Wiley, and Rollins. And that might be the lineup they finish the game out with. There's only about a minute and a half to go. But this is a lineup that's not really here to score. It's here to preserve the lead and make sure that Westside can't get back into this game.
Chandler Meeks, I believe he was fouled on the floor. He was.
It doesn't matter. He's shooting anyway. Prep's in the bonus.
It's 6. 6 fouls for Prep, right?
No, that's 7.
Yeah, that's the 7th.
Yeah,
okay,
because the offensive foul on O'Malley was the 6th.
Okay.
So now it's Westside shooting free throws.
Yeah.
And they've been pretty darn good from the line so far. Only 2 misses. But they're going to have to start hitting free throws now.
Yeah, and Prep in the bonus. Westside's got to try and force some fouls here if they can't get open looks from downtown. Time is against them here. 90 seconds to go. First one for Chandler Meeks. No good, and Rollins pulls it down, and that's a big miss. And now Rollins is fouled. And that's the 5th one against Westside. And now you start to keep an eye on the free throw percentages for these guys. Westside's got to try and figure out as they get closer and closer to the bonus who they want to foul. And Casey O'Malley, usually not a great free throw shooter, out of the game right now. 1:28 to go.
And Westside definitely starting to pressure Prep. They don't necessarily need.
Oh, Rollins had his heel on the line, or was there a timeout called first?
I think Lutke called a timeout. Oh, boy. That was worrisome. But now for Westside, the key is to really force Prep into making a mistake. You don't necessarily need to do anything special to get the ball back. You just need to force Prep into making a bad pass or stepping out of bounds. And that's pretty difficult to do against a team with so many veterans on it, because if Prep goes with the lineup of Rollins, City, Wiley, Buckley, and Jungers, those are all guys who played key minutes down the stretch for a team that made the state playoffs last year, so they're not easy to rattle.
Yeah, so looking at these two teams in the huddle, 1:26 to go in the fourth quarter. Specifically for Westside, Brendan, what's the strategy got to be here to try and close this gap with limited time remaining?
I think the strategy is go for the most efficient shots. I'd say that if you're open from like 20 feet, either don't take it or step back beyond the three-point line and take it, or just drive in and try to get a layup or get the foul, because layups, free throws, three-pointers are the three best shots anyone can take in basketball.
Yeah.
And if Westside can't get those, then they're going to have to just start trying to force Prep to foul them.
Yeah, and you remember when you told me, I think it was between the third and the fourth quarter, that A.J. Rollins was going to be the guy that's going to have to step up if one of these two teams wants to win, and boy, has he ever. You were right about that. 14 points for Rollins. He's pulling in just about every single rebound that's within a 6-foot radius of him.
Yeah.
And he's back out there now with 1:26 to go.
Kind of looks like Casey Thompson for the Longhorns last night. Thompson was pressed into duty after Ellinger went down with an injury. And I was thinking, are you serious? Is this how Texas is going to go out? But Thompson threw 4 touchdowns. And that's not quite an equal comparison to what Rollins has done. But
well, things were looking dicey early for Prep, too.
I mean, they've asked Rollins to step up, and he has done so incredibly well.
There's the 6th foul committed by the Warriors, as it's Caleb Benning fouling Myjay Wiley. So Prep 1 away from being in the bonus. Westside already in the bonus, but they don't have the basketball at the moment, so they'll have to foul Prep again, and Junior J will go to the line.
Either get a quick foul or a quick turnover.
Wiley, City ran into traffic, got to hurry up here, and he gets it to Brendan Buckley. Not fouling yet. Now Justin City guarded by Meeks. Wonder if they're waiting for somebody to like to get the ball here. Taking a long time to foul. Oh, they do get the turnover, so that's a plus for Westside.
And then a block on City.
Yeah, block is called against City, and Lukey will have a short conversation with him with 1:01 to go.
Looks like that's Rezak going to the line.
So Dominic Rezak will go to the line to shoot 1 and 1.
And now City actually coming out for O'Malley. But he's got to convert both of these if Westside wants to stay in this game. Otherwise, it becomes a free throw shooting contest. And if you're already 7 points in the hole, free throw contest is not where you want to be.
Rezak coming into the game had only shot 2 free throws. He'd missed both of them, but he's got that one there. So it's now 58-52. And as you said, free throws crucial late in these games. Rezak trying to make it a 5-point game. Up and good. 58-53, 1:01 to go in the fourth quarter. Prep 1 foul away. Oh, there's a turnover right off the inbound. Thomas for 3, no good. Oh, they had the chance to really make it interesting. Wiley turns it over again. Thomas can't get it to go.
Great defense by Rollins, and Rollins gets the rebound.
Rollins does it again, unbelievable. And Prep's got the ball now. Brendan Buckley still not being fouled yet. Gets it to Rollins. Wiley, O'Malley.
And Ludke, you can hear him screaming at the team to hold the ball.
Yep.
No need for anything foolish here. Just make the good pass.
O'Malley is fouled just before he fell out of bounds.
And now he'll shoot 2.
Yep,
just 1 and 1. Yep.
1 and 1 for Casey O'Malley.
He's got 5 points in the quarter, and he's been kind of key for Prep. He's one of the guys who's been coming off the bench pretty quick as either the 6th or the 7th man in basically every game for this Junior Jays team. And you can tell that Coach Ludke and the other coaches really trust O'Malley to do his job.
But man, how close Westside was with those 2 turnovers to Reggie Thomas.
You got to convert.
Yeah.
You got to convert.
But A.J. Rollins with impeccable defense again as O'Malley misses the first free throw. Westside's got to hurry here.
There's still 25 seconds left. They just need a quick shot, and they need it to go in.
Reggie Thomas. Odd body. Looking for a lane. Odd body. Awkward shot. He somehow gets it to go. And there's the timeout called for with 15.9 remaining. It is a 1-possession game for the moment as Odd Body is up to 22.
And here comes the free throws. And if you're Westside, this is the situation you wanted, because 3 points is a much lesser deficit than 7 points, as anyone who's taken elementary school math should know. But I mean, even if you're well into elementary school math or past it, I mean, 3 points is just much easier, because even if Prep hits 1, that's 2 possessions.
Yeah.
With a 3, another foul, and then even if they hit both,
and the clock firmly against you. Yeah, only 15.9 to work with.
The key for Westside is to do everything quick. They can't really afford a situation like that last possession. It was a great shot by Odd Body, but he took maybe a little too much time off the clock. They've got to get a foul. They got to get their fouls quickly, and then they've got to get their shots off quickly, and then they've got to hope that the shots fall. That's really all they can hope for, is speed and accuracy. But not for Prep.
So Westside trailing by 3, 58-55 game. Both teams are in the bonus, so whatever foul happens on the floor
And
will result in a 1-and-1.
the real question for Westside is, who do you foul? Jungers struggled in the first quarter, but then he hit both of his attempts in the second. O'Malley's starting to struggle. He's missed 2 of his last 3. City went one of 2, and Buckley's basically split his free throws. So if you're Westside, you got to pick somebody to foul, and you got to hope you pick right.
See what J. Wiley can find on the inbound. Oh, a 5-second violation. Unbelievable. Westside's going to take over.
Ludke is
Wow.
furious.
And now we got some conversation going on here. What's the deal? They timeout. Okay, timeout is called for.
Ludke is absolutely furious. He's just
Wow.
letting the referee have it, but a huge mental error for Prep at the worst possible time. And now, if you're Prep, you've got to guard the 3, but as we saw in the first half, sometimes guarding the 3 might not matter because Westside hit a lot of covered 3s.
Yeah.
So, I know the scoreboard says Prep 58, Westside 55 with 16 seconds to go, but I think Westside has the advantage right now. They've got momentum after that call, and they've got, I think, the mental edge too, because Prep knows that they've got guys who can hit it. C.J. Mitchell, Chandler Meeks, Reggie Thomas, Tate Oddbody, Payson Gillespie. They've all hit a 3 at some point this ball game, and you've got to figure that they're threats to do it again. And if I'm Prep here, I honestly might take Jungers or Rollins out, like leave one big for sure, but then get the long guards in to make sure that any 3 is at the very least contested.
And you can't make this stuff up. What a game it's been. Prep trailing 20-6 after the first quarter, closing the gap in the second quarter, and now here we are. Westside can force overtime with a 3-pointer. Inbound goes to Charlie Davis. They nearly throw it away, and the backcourt violation is called.
Great play by Casey O'Malley. Redeemed himself for the missed free throw by tipping the pass and forcing the turnover. Just an incredible job by O'Malley.
Oh, here we go. We got more shouting here.
And O'Malley definitely tipped the pass. The question is whether the Westside player grabbed it and then committed the backcourt violation. Because I thought that was what happened, is O'Malley tipped it, the Westside player got it back, and then he stepped back over the half-court line. And it looks like that's what the refs are saying too.
J. Wiley, can he get the inbound in this
time? Got to get the ball.
Takes a timeout. Smart move by Wiley to avoid the 5-second violation
and
for a second time.
you really got to be careful here if you're Prep, because that's no timeouts left. If
Yeah.
a situation like that happens again, oh boy,
Yeah,
we got
a
very angry fan.
Westside fans think it was tipped.
It was indeed tipped, but it's not about whether it was tipped. The Westside player grabbed the ball, established himself, and then stepped over the wrong side of the half-court line. That is a backcourt violation, even if the ball was tipped. And I mean, now for Prep, you got to hope that J. Wiley avoids a Chris Webber situation where he calls a timeout where he doesn't have any to go.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
I mean, obviously you don't want to throw the ball away if you're Maje, but you have to get the ball in. You can't afford a 5-second violation.
Yeah.
At the very least, lob it up to like Rollins and give him a chance.
That's why you keep him in the game.
You can't afford a 5-second violation here, because then that's a turnover with no time off the clock.
So 12.4 to go. This has been the longest 3.5 seconds I have ever seen. We were just sitting at 15.9 for like 3 minutes or something. Westside had their chance after the 5-second violation, then the backcourt. And now here we are, another timeout with 12.4 to go. But this is what it's all about. Prep and Westside producing another instant classic here at the Hyder Center.
And Prep getting 2 bigs in. You got to figure they might be going for some sort of lob pass scenario if the double screen that they've been running doesn't work.
Jungers and Rollins both clearly taller than the guys they're matched up with. Let's see what J. Wiley goes with here on the inbound. Looking at Jungers. Now trying O'Malley.
Yes.
He's got it. And fouled. O'Malley is fouled, so he will shoot the 1-and-1. C.J. Mitchell is called for it. 11.1 to go, and Westside.
Lots of subs for Westside. It looks like they brought in about half their bench for the explicit purpose of the fouling, because they wanted to avoid foul trouble for their other guys.
Okay.
And Jungers taking a seat, Rollins coming back in. And Rollins and Buckley, both great rebounders. You got to figure Prep's hoping that even if O'Malley misses this, they can at the very least tip the rebound and force Westside to scramble.
Yeah, how about this chess match down the stretch? This is remarkable stuff from Prep and Westside. O'Malley's first free throw is good. Westside would have had a chance the other way had he missed. Still 11.1 to go, but now looking a lot bleaker.
We've seen O'Malley do clutch things all season. What did he have against Lincoln Southwest in that close game? 19, yeah. He can deliver in the clutch, and if he does that again, then this game's all over but the singing.
Third straight game with 10-plus points for Casey O'Malley and a 5-point lead for Prep. Meeks waiting to touch the ball. Now here he comes.
Gotta go quick.
Meeks quickly to the basket. No good. Oddbody gets it. Shot is good. There's 3.1 to go, and there's the timeout called for by Westside.
So now Westside's really got to hope for a miracle. Their best case scenario is they foul the right guy with about, and you got to figure that a foul takes at least half a second off the clock. So let's be a little conservative and say there's 2.5 seconds left after the foul. The guy's then got to miss both, and Westside's going to have to throw up a prayer.
3.1 to go.
I mean, we've seen miracles happen before in this gym, but that one does not appear very likely.
It would take something crazy, but
although then again, remember what happened last year when we talked about something crazy happening.
Every time we think we've seen it all, we see something else. So we'll see if Prep can close the door and
although if that's
their way
the
to
case,
the final or the Final Four. Yep.
If that's the case, the basketball gods are getting a little lazy because we've seen this before. You're really gonna give us a rerun? Come on now. And now the key is for Maje, get the ball in bounds.
Yeah. Same spot that he had the 5-second violation from.
He's kind of struggled with that over the past 15 seconds, but if he can get the ball in, the game's basically over.
Hold your breath. There's Buckley. He's fouled. 1.8 to go, so that leaves sufficient time for a half-court heave if he misses the first free throw, but only if he misses the first.
Yeah.
So it's on Dominic Rizak, the foul. Brendan Buckley will go to the line to shoot the 1-and-1. Coming into the game, shooting 86% from the line, a reliable guy.
He's 3 of 5 from the line right now. If he hits this shot, the game's over.
Here we go. Brendan Buckley up and good. 13 points for Brendan Buckley and a 4-point lead for Prep.
He did his job.
Comes the second one to really put a bow on it. No good. Chandler Meeks gets the rebound. He'll shoot it up just for fun. Off the top of the glass, and Creighton Prep survives. The Westside Warriors 61-57, and they will go on to the semifinals to take on the winner of Bellevue West and Millard West. And what a game it was. Another chapter in this phenomenal rivalry between Creighton Prep and Westside. The Warriors took a 20-6 lead after the first quarter. Prep stormed back to make it 30-28 at halftime. And they come out with a 61-57 win. Man, how about that?
Got to give game MVP to A.J. Rollins.
Oh, yeah.
14 points, 8 in the second half, and goodness knows how many rebounds. But he was just all over the court for Prep tonight, and they needed every bit of those points and rebounds. A close win, a great game. But if you think that's all you're going to have from us this week, oh, we're just getting started.
Yeah, so you take a look at what we have for you coming up. Stay right here if you want to watch some good high school basketball. Tomorrow we got the semifinals. Girls at 10 and 11:45 a.m., then the boys at 1:30 and 3:15 p.m. I'll have to wait for clarification, but I'm pretty sure Creighton Prep will be in the 3:15 game. And then Saturday, January 2nd, the championships, the girls at 5:30 p.m., the boys at 7:15 p.m., and then the next Prep regular season home game, January 9th versus Millard South. So we've got a lot coming up, and we're going to see some fantastic basketball.
What better way to spend your New Year's Eve morning and afternoon than watching 6 straight hours of basketball on CPTV?
Yes, sir. Only way to do it. All right, so for Brendan Preisman, I'm Tyler